Hey everyone, welcome to Motivations Weekly. I'm thrilled to have you here. Today in our lively talk show, we're about to pry open a fascinating subject which has been increasingly capturing the attention of people worldwide. It's a topic that has been under much discussion and debate on various social media platforms, forums, and study groups. This topic is one that intrigues not just us, but numerous psychologists, social scientists, and people from every walk of life. We are about to dive deep into the heart of the matter, which revolves around the adolescent and young adult demographic, specifically males. Today we're going to discuss a phenomenon that has puzzled many, a certain fear that seems to grip some young men when it comes to dating women. This is not just about being nervous or awkward. It's about a genuine, deep-seated fear, a palpable anxiety that looms over them and hinders them from stepping into the realm of dating and relationships. This fear, in many cases, is not groundless or irrational. Often it stems from a lack of understanding, societal pressures, or even past traumatic experiences. But the vital point to remember here is that fear can be overcome. And that's what we aim to do: confront this fear, understand its roots, and vanquish it. In this pursuit, we have collated insights from various experts in the field, renowned psychologists, relationship coaches, and even some men who have faced and overcome this fear will share their experiences, perspectives, and advice. What we'll attempt to do through our discussions is not just understand the why behind this fear, but also try to find the how to combat it. We'll delve into the aspects of social conditioning, self-image, emotional intelligence, and the role these play in shaping a young man's approach towards dating. We will explore the influence of societal norms and expectations, peer pressure, and even the impact of social media and popular culture. Remember, this is not about pointing fingers or laying blame. It's about understanding and empathy. To truly address this issue, we need to look at it from all angles and perspectives. We need to create a safe space for open conversation, where young men can voice their fears and anxieties without being judged or ridiculed. The goal here is to foster a healthier approach towards dating and relationships for our young men. So prepare yourselves for an enlightening session full of thought-provoking discussions and insights. Together, let's try to demystify this fear and pave the way for a healthier approach to relationships, and more importantly, what we can do to address it. The fear factor. Let's delve deeper into the fear factor. This is a subject that weaves its way into the hearts and minds of people all over the world, prompting reactions that are as diverse as the individuals who experience them. Fear, as we know, is a universal emotion. It knows no boundaries of culture, ethnicity, or social status. It's a constant presence in our lives, often tucked away in the darkest corners of our subconscious minds, awaiting the right triggers to emerge and take control. Yet, not manifest the same way for everyone. It's a versatile emotion, taking on various forms and intensities depending on the individual and the circumstances they face. People fear a plethora of things, from the trivial to the profound. Heights, spiders, darkness, rejection, failure, the unknown, death. The list is endless. Despite this vast range of fear triggers, there's something uniquely intriguing about one specific type of fear, the fear associated with the realm of dating and relationships. You see, some young men experience heightened anxiety when it comes to dating women. This isn't a universal experience. It's not something every man goes through, but for those who do, it's a deeply ingrained fear. It's an anxiety that envelops them, clouding their interactions and experiences. They fear the judgment of others and perhaps their own self-judgment regarding their success or lack thereof in the dating world, for might worry about not meeting societal expectations of masculinity. The societal pressure to conform to certain standards can be intense. They are expected to be assertive, to take charge, to be the initiators. They are told they must be financially stable, capable of providing for a potential partner. The pressure to embody these traits can be overwhelming, creating an environment of dread, a perpetual state of anxiety. This fear is often irrational, a product of societal norms and expectations that have been ingrained in us from a young age. But it is real, it is palpable, and it can be debilitating, curbing young men's ability to form meaningful relationships. Yet it is through acknowledging this fear, understanding its roots, and seeking to address it, that these young men can begin to dismantle the fear factor. The fear factor. Let's delve deeper into the fear factor. Fear is a universal emotion, but some young men experience heightened anxiety when it comes to dating women. For example, they might worry about not meeting societal expectations of masculinity, like being assertive or financially stable. Societal pressure. Societal pressure plays a pivotal role in fueling these anxieties, a role that often goes unnoticed in our everyday lives. It's a silent puppeteer pulling at strings subtly, yet its effects are profound. Let's dive deeper into this concept. Picture what we understand by societal pressure. It's the unspoken, intangible force that dictates specific expectations from individuals based on preconceived norms and standards set up by society. It's a load that we all carry in different capacities, but its impact is most profound among the younger generation. Take, for example, the tough guy image that is so vividly portrayed in movies and TV shows. This image is not just a casual representation, it's an expectation, a standard that young men are subtly pressured to conform to. This macho stereotype, projecting strength, stoicism, and a dismissive attitude towards emotions, is ingrained in our culture and further amplified by media. Young men they must fit into this mold, this seemingly unbreakable stereotype. This expectation is an invisible chain weighing them down, holding them back, and often making it difficult for them to express vulnerability or emotions openly. It is not just about the inability to express feelings, but it's about the fear of being viewed differently, of not meeting the standards set by society, of being judged, of being deemed less manly. This pressure to conform to societal expectations can often lead to a crisis of identity, of self-doubt, and even mental health issues. But what is the solution to this crippling issue? How can we reduce the burden of this societal pressure on young men? The resolution lies in promoting and encouraging authenticity. Authenticity in this context means allowing oneself to be true, to embrace individuality, to acknowledge emotions and vulnerabilities, and to dismiss the notion that men must always be tough. Young men should be encouraged to their unique qualities, their individual strengths and quirks, knowing that being themselves is more attractive than conforming to stereotypes. It's about fostering a culture where uniqueness is celebrated rather than shunned, where expressing emotions is not seen as a weakness but as a strength, where being you is more important than being what society wants you to be. We need to encourage dialogues, to share personal stories and experiences, to challenge and question stereotypes, and to empower young men with the knowledge that it's okay to be different, it's okay to be emotional, it's okay to be vulnerable. Sharing personal stories and experiences can help break down these barriers, these walls of stereotypes and expectations, making the less daunting for young men. At the end of the day, it's about the realization that the tough guy image is not a mandate but merely a stereotype. That true strength lies in being true to oneself, in acknowledging vulnerabilities and emotions, and in celebrating individuality. The solution is to encourage authenticity, as it is through authenticity that we can break free from the chains of societal pressure and truly embrace our unique selves. Fear of rejection. This is a concept that often haunts the minds of many, mostly young men. It's a common fear that is largely unspoken about, yet it holds a powerful grip on our behavior and choices. This fear of rejection is a largely universal concern. It can be seen in our daily lives, in our interactions with friends, family, and most importantly, potential romantic partners. This fear is not something to be brushed aside lightly. This fear of rejection can be paralyzing, causing some to retreat into shells of former selves. Its effects can be seen in the reluctance of certain individuals to involve themselves in social activities, to engage in friendships, and in the worst of cases, to even avoid dating altogether. The fear of being rejected can lead some to build walls around themselves, approach relationships with extreme caution, and often live in anxiety. The harmful effects of this fear often lead to feelings of loneliness, desolation, and even despair. It casts a shadow on the possibilities of love, camaraderie, and meaningful connections. It can cause a person to deny themselves the happiness they deserve. Fear, if left unchecked, can become a life-altering concern. But here's the significant part. To address this fear, it's essential to reframe rejection. Rejection can be seen in a new light, a light that doesn't necessarily cast a gloomy shadow, but instead illuminates a path towards personal growth. We must learn to redefine rejection, to not as a personal failure, but as a stepping stone, a learning curve, and an essential life experience. For instance, instead of seeing rejection as a personal failure, we should view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. It's a chance to understand ourselves better, to analyze our behavior, our choices, and maybe even our faults. Rejection gives us a chance to look within ourselves and to make necessary improvements. It might be harsh, it might be painful, but the lessons we learn are invaluable. Rejection can be viewed as a tool for personal development, contributing to individual growth and maturity. It can push us to strive for better, to improve ourselves, and to become the best versions of ourselves. It is an opportunity to become stronger, more resilient, and more understanding. It'll lead to personal enlightenment and the development of a more stable and robust self-esteem. Rejection, thus, is not the end of the road. It's merely a detour, a speed bump on the journey towards finding the right partner. A rejection is not a reflection of our worth. It's a mere divergence on the path towards finding the right match. It's a natural part of dating and can lead to finding more compatible partners. Rejection is a lesson, a stepping stone, and most importantly, it's the key to finding someone who truly appreciates and values you for who you truly are. Building self-confidence. So what can we do about these fears? The answer is straightforward yet complex: building self-confidence. This vast, all-encompassing term, self-confidence, is the panacea to the maladies of fear and uncertainty. Confidence is the key that offers us the courage to face our anxieties, and it's not something that we're naturally born with, but rather something that we cultivate and hone over time. Take, for instance, young men standing at the precipice of life, seeking to carve out their place in the world. They can choose to foster self-confidence by setting achievable goals in various areas of their lives, like their careers, fitness, or personal interests. Goals are pivotal. They provide a sense of direction, a roadmap to follow, and they serve as benchmarks that chart our progress. In the realm of their careers, they could set goals like gaining a certain amount of experience within a specified time frame or obtaining a promotion. In terms of fitness, they might strive to attain a certain level of physical strength or endurance, or perhaps master a new athletic skill. When it comes to personal interests, maybe they aim to learn a new language, master a musical instrument, or even delve into the depths of a new genre of literature. Furthermore, they can focus on self-improvement, which is the most powerful tool in the arsenal of self-confidence. This initiative can range from taking up a new hobby, learning a new skill, setting fitness goals, or seeking personal development through education. Every new hobby taken up, every fitness goal achieved, piece of knowledge gained through education, contributes to the development of a well-rounded personality, thereby bolstering self-confidence. When you take up a new hobby, you're essentially challenging yourself to step out of your comfort zone and explore unfamiliar territories. This sense of accomplishment when you've mastered this new hobby, however minute it may seem, is a confidence booster. Setting fitness goals is another brilliant strategy, as fitness not just enhances our physical well-being but also our mental health. The simple act of setting a goal, working tirelessly towards it, and eventually achieving it can be a massive morale booster. Education, on the other hand, provides us with the knowledge and skills that are essential to our personal and professional growth. It expands our perspectives and helps us gain a better understanding of the world around us. The more educated we are, the more confident we become, as knowledge is power. Lastly, essential to remember that the journey of building self-confidence is a continuous one, a path that's paved with highs and lows, successes and failures. However, with each step along this journey, with each goal achieved, their self-esteem will naturally grow, thereby instilling in them a stronger sense of self-worth. Confidence isn't simply about believing in oneself, it's about proving to oneself that they are indeed capable. As they accomplish these goals, their self-esteem will naturally grow. Communication is key. Effective communication is the cornerstone of addressing these fears, those insecurities that silently dwell in the hearts of young men. For them, dating is a journey filled with apprehensions, and a significant part of this apprehension stems from their reluctance to express their true emotions. It's about time to realize that transparency and openness can play an instrumental role in bridging this emotional gap. The world we live in today is one where emotions are often suppressed, especially in young men. They are conditioned from a young age to be strong, to hide their vulnerabilities, but this silence only leads to an accumulation of fears, doubts, and anxieties. This is why effective communication is of paramount importance. It's about dismantling the walls that they have built around themselves, brick by brick, and letting their emotions flow. Often the fear of judgment or rejection prevents young men from being open about their feelings. However, it's important to understand that being honest about their feelings can foster a more understanding, empathetic, and accepting environment. By laying bare their insecurities, they pave the way towards a more intimate relationship, one where their fears are acknowledged, not ridiculed. For instance, they can initiate honest conversations with their partners about their concerns and fears. Instead of bottling up their emotions, they can express what they truly feel, without the fear of being judged or misunderstood. And when they share, they invite their partners into their world, allowing them to see their vulnerabilities, their strengths, their fears. It's about creating an environment where young men can be themselves without any pretenses. Such openness not only strengthens the bond between them and their partners, but it also creates a sense of trust and understanding. By sharing their thoughts and concerns, they let their partners know that they value them enough to be vulnerable in front of them. And when they listen actively to their partner's thoughts, they show that they are equally respectful of their partner's emotions, creating a balance in the relationship. Moreover, by being open and honest, they are also setting a precedence for their partners. They are setting an example, letting their partners know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's to express their fears and concerns. In this manner, they create a comfortable space for their partners to express themselves as well. The key is not just one-sided communication, but a two-way conversation where both parties can express their fears and hopes openly, creating deeper connections in the process. In doing so, they can reduce anxiety, build trust, and foster mutual understanding. Remember, communication is not just about speaking, it's about listening as well. It's about understanding each other's emotions, fears, and insecurities. Truly, effective communication can be a lifesaver in the unpredictable waters of the dating world. By sharing their thoughts and listening actively, they can create deeper connections and reduce anxiety. In conclusion, fear is an inherent emotion deeply ingrained in the human psyche, and it's perfectly okay, even essential, to experience and acknowledge it. What truly sets the tone of our lives is how we address this fear and the steps we take to overcome it. Fear is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to our human nature. It's a primal response, a survival instinct that has shaped our evolution. In modern society, however, fear often manifests itself in less physically threatening situations, such as social scenarios, dating being a prominent one, especially for young men. The pressures of society can often be oppressive and unforgiving, particularly so when it comes to dating. There is a widespread notion masculinity that young men often feel obligated to conform to. This unrealistic image can be incredibly daunting, causing fear and anxiety around dating. By acknowledging these pressures, we can start to challenge them. It's important to realize that there's no singular definition of ideal, and that everyone has their unique charm. Embracing vulnerability is another significant step towards conquering dating fears. In a world that often equates vulnerability with weakness, it takes courage to be openly vulnerable. But being vulnerable simply means being true to oneself, to one's emotions. And that's a strength in its own right. Vulnerability allows genuine connections to form, making dating a more enriching experience. Improving self-confidence through self-improvement is a long, often challenging journey, but one that is undoubtedly rewarding. It's not about changing oneself to fit into societal norms, but rather about nurturing one's qualities, celebrating one's individuality, and growing from one's mistakes. Cultivating a healthy self-image significantly reduces dating fears, for when we are confident in ourselves, others' opinions do not shake us as easily. Fostering open communication is not only essential in dating, but in life. Often misunderstandings and misinterpretations stemming from a lack of clear communication lead to fear and anxiety. By expressing ourselves openly and honestly, we can prevent many such situations. It allows for better understanding, helping to build stronger connections and reducing dating fears. So our fears, while natural and universal, should not hold us back. By acknowledging societal pressures, embracing vulnerability, building self-confidence through self-improvement, and promoting open communication, young men can indeed conquer their dating fears. Remember, fear is not the enemy. It's a part of who we are. It's a reminder that we're human. It's a sign that we care. The key is not to let it control us, but to control it, to use it as a catalyst, driving us to grow, to improve, and to conquer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And remember, keep spreading love and positivity. See you next time.